I just sold out in 30 minutes. I just sold out in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. We about to sell out in like 10 minutes. Yeah, I want to build an empire with that.
He started with nothing, no network, no safety net. From Malmo's cold streets to the blinding lights of Los Angeles, from sleeping in garages to shaking hands with the biggest names in streaming. His grind wasn't just on the court or on camera. Behind the scenes, controversy brewed, selling explicit images to men, private deals that blurred the line between hustle and scandal, a move that would later shadow his rise. Fame is fragile. One wrong step, and the crowd that lifts you up can turn in an instant. This is the story of how Marlon faced it all. The rise, the backlash, and the comeback that turned fame into a lasting empire. Before the streams, before the followers, before the headlines, there was just a kid in Sweden chasing a dream on cracked pavement. No sponsors, no audience, just repetition and the belief that somehow it would all lead somewhere. Marlon Lundgren Garcia, born September 7th, 2001 in Malmo, Sweden, to a Spanish mother and Swedish father, grew up in a working-class household where every krona counted. His brother was a constant presence, sometimes supportive, sometimes a rival. They competed in everything. Who could shoot better? Who could run faster? The rivalry sharpened him, but it also planted seeds for conflicts that would resurface years later. In Sweden, he climbed into the top 5 youth players and earned MVP at a national tournament. By 2019, his performance brought him to Lower Columbia College in Washington State. Listed at 1.96 meters playing guard and studying psychology, he carried the same discipline and teamwork onto the court. When he lost, he stayed late. 100 free throws after the lights dimmed. No audience, just the echo of the ball and his own determination. It was a friend who planted the seed. Post it, see what happens, they told him. He listened. TikTok became his new playground. Short, funny, relatable videos, mixing his personality with moments from daily life. His first videos drew modest attention, then one went viral. Thousands of views turned into hundreds of thousands. His follower count soared past the first 10K. Back then this was insane, but this was just the beginning. By January 2024, he created his Twitch channel. Less than a month later, on February 15th, his first live broadcast went online, confirmed by streaming statistics archives. Basketball was no longer his primary arena. It wasn't much, cold in the winter, stifling in the summer, but it was his space and his stage. Nights in that garage became his new court. The ball was replaced by a webcam, the crowd by usernames on a glowing screen. Streaming quickly became part of his routine, sometimes with only a handful of viewers. His brother described it as talking to ghosts, but each broadcast helped him refine his pacing, his delivery, and the way he engaged with those watching. The crowd was small, but it was growing. In the earliest stage of his Twitch career, he found what he would later call a glitch in the system. By clipping the best moments from his streams himself and pushing them out through his own Instagram account, he created a direct pipeline of short, engaging highlights that drew new viewers in. This cross-platform strategy became a cornerstone of his rapid growth. Within months of his first Twitch stream, Marlon's audience began to accelerate. By May 2024, roughly 1 year after going viral on TikTok, he crossed the 100,000 follower milestone on Twitch, as recorded in his channel statistics. His content was clear and focused, IRL and just chatting broadcasts, often mixing humor, audience interaction, and personal stories. On Sundays, he introduced a recurring segment he called An Hour for God, where he spoke openly about his Christian faith.
About God is that you kind of gotta just see things for what's positive and what's important in life, and take care of those things, and always be humble before God. Like, it's very, very important. No matter where you come now, y'all know what Meech has been very, very rapid pace.
He streamed consistently. Data from Stream Charts shows hundreds of broadcast hours in his first months, building familiarity and trust with his viewers. His IRL segments carried over the energy that had worked for him on TikTok. Small moments, ordering food, walking through New York streets, or reacting to news became part of the show. By late 2024, his Twitch follower count had more than quadrupled. TikTok remained a steady funnel, sending new viewers to his streams. The garage setup, once a limitation, had become part of his brand. Viewers tuned in for the content and stayed for the personality. His rapid rise wasn't only about content. It started when random people started glazing him. People noticed his appearance, tall, athletic, and camera ready, and began to joke in chat with phrases like, "Bro, we need to be nerfed." Conversations about his looks, his style, even his haircuts became part of the community culture, fueling engagement and contributing to the loyal following he maintains to this day. But as his numbers kept climbing, one question began to define: how did he go from this to making $300,000 in 30 minutes? 2025 started with doors opening that few streamers ever get to walk through. In early April, FaZe member Lacey invited Marlon to the FaZe house, a move that put him shoulder to shoulder with some of the biggest names in online entertainment. Just days after arriving, Marlon appeared alongside Lacey at Aiden Ross's Brand Risk 006 event. Broadcast live to tens of thousands, the collaboration introduced him to an even broader audience, with follower counts jumping massive in the days after. This surge in visibility came with turbulence. On April 13th, 2025, he received his first Twitch ban, lasting 12 hours, before being reinstated on April 14th. The reason was never confirmed, but the timeline placed it squarely in the middle of his FaZe exposure. By July 2025, the numbers told the story. An average of over 15,000 concurrent viewers, a peak of 76,973 in a single stream, and a lifetime total approaching 1 million followers. Twitch metrics ranked him number 97, most viewed globally, and number 14 in the Just Chatting category. FaZe collaborations didn't stop at the event. Yacht parties, IRL collabs, and appearances in FaZe content kept his name in circulation. The M3 Skullcap, worn in several high-visibility moments, was teased heavily ahead of its release, generating buzz and pre-launch demand that proved his exposure could drive future sale.
Dear Lord, thank you so much for letting everybody that's watching the stream, M3 family, M3 community, be here together. Thank God for how far I've came. Thank you so much, God, for letting me be here and talk with my family and be healthy and safe. God, I pray that everything goes smooth. I pray that whatever you got in store for me with this Skullcap, you will provide for me. God, please take care of everybody that's watching this. Take care of their families, keep them healthy. Love you, God. Amen. Okay. What's going on? What's going on?
Beyond the tease, his long-standing interest in fashion became a plan. M3 would not stay just merch. He positioned it as a real brand, design-led drops, higher quality materials, and capsules tied to moments from the stream, a strategy intended to build durable value and, if executed, significant wealth beyond streaming. He also promises viewers that whoever bought would be contacted by him privately, and that he would send them letters and other personal items. Naturally, when someone says things like this, viewers are more likely to buy. He might appear nonchalant and make it seem as though he's just saying random things, but in reality he's far more calculated and intelligent than most people realize. This was no longer just a rise. Marlon was now dominating his category, converting influence into tangible business, and laying the foundation for what could become a $1 million empire. His growing passion for fashion hinted at the next big step. The M3 Skullcap was only the start. His vision was to create apparel that would stand as a real brand, not just streamer merch. In his mind, clothing wasn't a side hustle, it was the path to building long-term wealth. After the high-profile collaborations, Marlon didn't cut ties with FaZe. He simply wanted to explore his own path. The momentum from early 2025 carried him into new arenas, both on-stream and in real life. He launched an ambitious European IRL tour, streaming from major cities and meeting fans face to face. In Paris, he stepped into the world of high fashion, attending Paris Fashion Week, walking the runway as a model, and appearing on the official Ralph Lauren Instagram page. His travels also connected him with top European streamers, collaborating on joint broadcasts that introduced his channel to entirely new audiences. He even teamed up with Real Madrid legend Marcelo, a respected figure in the scene, creating a series of IRL segments that blended cultural exploration with the energy of live interaction. Independence brought freedom and opportunity. Without the strict structure of a collective, every decision and every stream was his to make. And with each new collaboration, he proved his appeal wasn't limited to one region or one community. With full creative control, international exposure, and a growing audience, the question became clear. Could he turn this wave of momentum into a brand that would stand the test of time? The turbulence hit earlier than many realized, before the European tour and the high-profile fashion appearances. In late April and early May 2025, viral clips from former acquaintances began circulating, questioning aspects of Marlon's image and personal history. The claims, verified by his ex through shared material and widely circulated, sparked heated debates across platforms.
Way before all of this, he's always lived with me. When we didn't have our apartment that we have right now, we still have our apartment. When we didn't have our apartment, he was living at home with my mom. He was streaming from my mom's basement. He was never homeless. Never in New York. He was never homeless.
On May 6, 2025, Marlon addressed the controversy live on stream. He acknowledged certain actions, disputed others, and pushed back against the idea that his past defined his future. The broadcast itself drew massive attention, with viewership spiking during key moments. Yet even amid the turbulence, his metrics told a story of strength. Viewer engagement stayed high, collaborations continued, and his name remained in the top tiers of Twitch rankings, setting the stage for the European chapter that would follow. The question now wasn't whether he could draw attention, it was whether he could channel it into something lasting. The European chapter marked a turning point. Stepping out of the shadow of recent controversy, Marlon shifted the spotlight back onto his craft and his community. By August 2025, the numbers proved the recovery was real, averaging over 15,000 concurrent viewers, holding a peak of nearly 77,000 and approaching 1 million total followers. More importantly, the tone around his name had shifted, with the focus returning to content, creativity, and connection. From setbacks to sold-out meetups, Marlon was proving that reinvention wasn't just possible. It could be the foundation for something even bigger. The European chapter closed with more than just a return to form. It laid the groundwork for the next phase, building something that would last beyond streaming. Marlon's vision was clear: turn influence into infrastructure. From fashion collaborations to developing his own product lines, he was focused on creating a brand that could stand on its own, one that fans could wear, share, and make part of their lives. One of the clearest signs came with the launch of his first official product, the M3 Skullcap, released through his Shopify store in late 2025. The drop sold out in just 30 minutes. Fans posted their confirmations across social media, turning the beanie into an instant badge of community identity and showing that his audience was ready to support him beyond the stream. With the influence he had built, estimates suggest he could have stocked at least 10,000 units for that first drop. At $30 each, that's roughly $300,000 in revenue. In half an hour. The momentum didn't stop there. The cap was restocked that same night and sold out again, doubling the sales in under 24 hours. This was more than a merch release. It was a signal that his audience could convert at scale instantly on demand. By late 2025, he was no longer just a name on Twitch or TikTok. He was an emerging entrepreneur. His audience wasn't just tuning in, they were buying in, supporting projects that reflected the personality they'd followed from the garage to global stages. From Mama's courts to the FaZe house, from setbacks to Paris runways, every chapter had built to this moment, a creator in full control using his platform not just to entertain, but to build an empire. For Marlon, this will not be the end of the story, it's the start of a fashion empire.
I know you're not following what I'm saying anyway, right? That's okay, that doesn't matter. The real question is this: is all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.